Don't need to remind you again, but my nothing head is very...
So Pete Crocker, the sheriff of Barnstable County, which was the whole of Cape Cod, came into the federal ethical suicide parlor in Hyannis one May afternoon, and she told the two 6-foot hostesses that there weren't to be any alarmed, but that a notorious nothinghead named Billy the Poet was believed headed for the cave. A nothinghead was a person who refused to take his ethical birth control pills 3 times a day. The penalty for that was $10,000 and 10 years in jail. This was at a time when the population on Earth was 17 billion human beings. That was far too many people that big for a planet that small. The people were virtually packed together like drooplets. Drooplets are the pulpy little knobs that compose the outside of a raspberry. A 2-pronged attack on overpopulation. One pronging was the encouragement of ethical suicide, which consisted of going to the nearest suicide parlor and asking a hostess to kill you painlessly while you lay on a Barca-lounger. The other pronging was compulsory ethical birth control.
Alright, ladies. Don't need to remind you again, but a nothing head is very, very sensitive from the waist down. If Billy the Poet were to come in here, deliver one swift kick to the right spot, it'd be a total nightmare.
He was referring to the fact that ethical birth control pills, the only legal form of birth control, made people numb from the waist down. Most men said their bottom halves felt like cold iron or balsa wood. Most women said their bottom halves felt like wet cotton or stale ginger ale. The pills were so effective that you could blindfold a man who'd taken one, tell him to recite the Gettysburg Address, kick him in the balls while he was doing it, and he wouldn't miss a syllable. All the pills did was take every bit of pleasure out of sex. Thus did science and morals go hand in hand. The two hostesses there in Hyannis were Nancy McLuhan and Mary Kraft.
The only thing you ladies need to know is that everything's under control. You just go about your business as usual.
I thought the only thing people knew about Billy the Poet was that he specialized in hanging around suicide parlors and deflowering hostesses.
Nancy was a virgin. All hostesses were virgins. They also had to hold advanced degrees in psychology and nursing. They also had to be plump and rosy and at least 6 feet tall.
How long you think a girl's gonna last in the ethical suicide service if she gets scared so easily?
Not long, I reckon.
All hostesses were experts at judo and karate. It wasn't just Billy the Poet who was attracted to hostesses in ethical suicide parlors. All nothingheads were. Bombed out of their skulls with the sex madness that came from taking nothing, they thought the white lips and big eyes and body stockings and boots of a hostess spelled sex, sex, sex. The truth was, of course, that sex was the last thing any hostess ever had in mind.
Billy the Poet sticks to his usual tricks. We know 3 things. Number 1, he'll watch you guys and study your habits. Number 2, he'll study your neighborhood. And number 3, the worst part of it all, he'll sing you a dirty, filthy, filthy poem.
Charming!
Mm-hmm. That's not all. He's also been known to use a telephone. Could that be Billy the Poet?
If it is, I could break his neck with my thumb forefinger.
Man, package for you.
We were walking through the park. A goosing statue's in the dark. If Sherman's horse can take it, so can you. Billy.
What a jabroni!
When Nancy came in, there was an old man lying on the suicide couch, where hundreds had died so peacefully over the years.
Hello, sir. How are we today? You decided on your last meal yet, sir?
She was ashamed, for this was very unprofessional of her.
Theo cutlet's supposed to be pretty good.
I thought you were all supposed to be friendly. I thought this was a good place, a joyful place to come.
Sorry, sir, it has nothing to do with you.
The old man was something of a rarity, since he was marked by old age, was bald, was shaky, had spots on his hands. Most people look 22, thanks to anti-aging shots they took twice a year. That the old man looked old was proof that the shots had been discovered after his sweet bird of youth had flown.
You're sorry? Am I starting to bore you?
No, sir. I'm sure you know some very interesting history.
Among other things, the old man claimed to have known J. Edgar Nation, the father of ethical birth control.
They act like you're interested!
The thing was, he could leave any time he wanted to, right up to the moment he asked for the needle. And he had to ask for the needle. That was the law. Nancy's art, and the art of every hostess, was to see that volunteers didn't leave, to coax and wheedle and flatter them patiently every step of the way. So Nancy had to sit down there in the booth, to pretend to marvel at the freshness of the yarn the old man told, a story everybody knew, about how J. Edgar Nation happened to experiment with ethical birth control.
You know, he didn't have the slightest idea his pills would be used for humans someday. His dream was to introduce morality into the monkey house at the Grand Rapids Zoo. Did you know that? Did you realize that?
No, that's very interesting.
He was with his 11 kids in church on one Easter, and the day was so nice, and the Easter service would have been so beautiful and pure that they decided to walk through the zoo, and they were all just walking on clouds.
The old man shoehorned himself into the scene, had himself chat with the Nations just before they got to the monkey house.
Good morning, Mr. Nation. I said to Mr. Nation, it certainly is a nice morning, and a good morning to you, Mr. Howard. That's what he said to me. There is something about an Easter morning that makes a man feel clean and reborn.
Somebody gonna get that? Okay, go ahead.
So we decided to go to the monkey house. And you know, what do you think we saw?
I can't imagine.
We saw a monkey playing with his privates.
No.
Yes. And you know what? J. Edgar Nation was so upset, he went straight home and he started to develop a pill that could make the monkeys in springtime do fit things for Christian families to see.
Yes.
Nancy, phone's for you.
The phone is tapped. We think it's Billy. Keep him on there. We'll trace the call back to his house.
Hello?
Nancy,
Yes?
I'm calling for a mutual friend.
Oh?
He asked me to deliver a message.
Okay.
It's a poem.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Ready?
Soak yourself in Jergens lotion. Here comes the one-man population explosion.
We got him! I got you, Billy, you son of a bitch!
Hey, what are these?
Oh. My God, they're copies of Billy's nasty poems.
Yeah.
Gross.
Goodness, man. So you never heard that story before? The one about J. Edgar learning about birth control?
Nope, never did.
Oh, yeah. I thought everyone knew that. And I'll tell you something else that's true. I'm Billy the Poet.
And you are one goddamn good-looking woman.
It was a decoy. There's another one of Billy the Poet's tricks. Let's go!
Yes.
Come on! Let's go!
One move and the cunt gets it.
I got a poem for you, Billy. It goes a little something like this.
Papa